Wishing all of you a very happy, prosperous and peaceful Deepavali. Today on the show, there's one question that we all want an answer to. Will Achhe Din return to the real estate markets of India? Will we make money if we invest in property this year, or should we invest elsewhere? We have some of India's top experts to answer just that. Ramesh Nair, CEO, Business and National Director, JLL India. Also with us, Sunil Rohakale, MD and CEO, ASK Group, Nishant Singhal, Promoter and Director, Strategy Investor Clinic, Kuldeep Chawla, Founder and CEO, Ask Strategies, Amit Kukreja, CFP and Founder, Wealth Being Advisors, and Sameer Jasuja, Founder and MD, Prop Equity. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here today. I think I'm going to just look at what's been happening in the real estate markets to give you a little bit of a sense on how they have performed over the last 3.5 years. Real estate micro markets, which we've been talking about on this show for the last 2.5 years. All of you would be happy to know that we've also completed 500 shows of the property show this Diwali. Sameer, a big thank you to you for that. And here's the prop equity data. Now, NCR, let's look at the top performing markets. Gurgaon Dwarka Expressway. Gurgaon has given 18. Dwarka Expressway has given 18%, and Golf Course Extension, which is the second best performing market in Gurgaon, has given 17% annualized returns over the last 3.5 years. Greater Faridabad comes next at 14%. Let's move to Mumbai region. Ghorbandar Road, Thane. So it's not entire Thane, it's Ghorbandar Road, Thane, 14%. Kharghar, Navi Mumbai, 13%. Mulund West Mumbai at 12.5%. Okay, jump to Pune. Hadapsar, Pune, 12.3%. In the south, if we take you to Bengaluru, KR Puram at 12.5%, Marathalli at 12%. In Chennai, Sporur, which has topped the list at 11%. So that's what the data has shown. So not done badly at all. If you look at the real estate market, so Sameer, first question to you, because it's prop equity data. Of course, we've been very depressed looking at the charts. There was a time when we started the show and a Dwarka Expressway was giving you 24%, 23 to 24% return, isn't it? It's come down quite a bit.
I think what the last 1 year especially has done is bring the property markets back to realistic levels, whereby investors now have to start believing in the reality that real estate is not going to go ahead and give you unrealistic returns that they have given in, say, 2012 to 2013. And what I have witnessed amongst all the micro markets that have shown returns is that employment generation, wherever that has been the maximum, those micro markets have generated the maximum return. That's one. And the second is locational advantages, where the prices were very low and there was a huge upside potential to be captured, was the second area where you could see unprecedented price appreciation. But then those were the markets that were being actually getting attracted by investors. And now that the investors have gone away from the market in the last 1 year, those returns have started to fall very steeply.
Okay. Kuldeep, what do you think? Real estate, I mean, this is going to be the big normal going forward. We've looked at 11% and going right up to 18%. And that's the best case scenario. And the worst case scenario, 11%. Of course, there are markets which have given below. But if you were smart and you looked at the top 10 performing markets, 11 to 17 has been the norm.
Yes. So I think, here is the rationale. Number one, the tier 1 and tier 2 markets have done better than other markets. So, for example, you'd see the Delhi NCR has had the highest returns, albeit in certain segments. Chennai, which is a smaller market, has had lower returns, number one. Number two, if you look at the markets, whether you look at Dwarka Expressway, you look at Thane, or you look at KR Puram, they are value-oriented housing markets. Number three, if you dig deeper into the data, you will find that the unit sizes, which are 1 BHK and 2 BHK in Mumbai, 2 BHK and 3 BHK in the Delhi NCR and Bangalore have done well.
Okay.
So, if you were to kind of project this going forward, my sense is that the top 2 or 3 markets will remain, Delhi NCR, Mumbai and Bangalore. However, you will see, at least in the short term, and I'm saying up to a year, the same moderation in growth. You're unlikely to see 25–30% jump across the board.
All right. Okay. Now, the prop equity data, and this is what is worrying, and that's why I think we are doing this show and asking that big question. If you just look at the NCR market, the inventory has risen to 41 months this year compared with 12 months in 2013, which is just a year ago. Now, look at Mumbai. The inventory is at 50 months compared with 34 months last year. Despite all of this, we've had some, of course, appreciation continuing to happen in these markets, albeit very, very slow. Ramesh Nair, over to you. When we are saying these annualized figures, if I look at just last 1 year, the markets have been absolutely flat. So the big question that I asked at the top, when will real estate see the return of Achhe Din? The inventory overhang figures aren't showing that. Is there a lot more shock left in the system? A playout which could probably, if we do this show 6 months later, the returns will come down and not go up?
Manisha, the good news is if you look at returns from real estate over the last 4 years, we have seen returns of 20%, 14%, 12% and 10% in the last 4 years. You compare it with other asset classes like gold or stock markets, both those asset classes have shown double-digit growth so over 4 years. But there have been 1 year in that 4 years where the markets fell by, in those asset classes by 10 to 25%. So real estate is the only asset class out of these 3 asset classes which has shown a consistent growth over the last 4 years. That's the good news. The bad news is, if you look at numbers of end of third quarter compared to what it was same time last year, across the country, the overall sales is down, overall new launches is down again. If you look at Delhi, overall new launches are down 30%, sales is also down 30%. Mumbai, overall launches down 30%, overall sales down 10%. But the good news, and we are clearly seeing this, third quarter this year, 2014, compared to third quarter last year, 2013, in commercial, we have actually seen a 57% jump in office absorption. So where we saw 5.7 million square feet in 2013, we saw 8.8 million square feet. So clear indication that the Modi effect is taking, is showing impact within the commercial segment in the country, and a lot of corporates who are waiting and watching have started taking decisions and started acquiring office space. This is the first 6 months was exactly the same this year as last year in commercial, but the third quarter we have seen a 57% increase in office absorption across the country.
Okay. So Sunil, what do you think? If we keep saying if there's job creation, if offices start taking more space, the effect on residential should come. Is that correct, or do you think that the office market was so depressed that any bit of good news would have actually seen some amount of jump there?
I think the real estate markets, the prime 3 drivers. The first driver is the income, the second driver is the interest rate, and third driver is the infrastructure. So I think if the incomes are stable and they are having a positivity of going up, I think most of the end customers who has postponed buying, or most of the investors who probably would like to leverage their returns, they probably jump into the part when there is a stability of income. Interest rate cycle so far was an adverse to the current situation, but the way the sense is that interest rate cycle soon is going to get softened, and I think the interest rate to mortgages probably would come after 4 years well below 10%, and I think that's a great news. Infrastructure is a slow-moving atom in all the cities, but I think wherever the infrastructure has played out well, the absorption, the new launches, and the customer buying behavior has been very different. So I think the fundamental story here is the markets which are probably focused on middle income, the market which are focused between 5,000 rupees per square foot plus minus, and a ticket size of 50 lakh to 75 lakhs have seen consistent absorption, consistent delivery from the developer side, where the cash flows are better, sales velocity is better. I think real estate market in those cities where income is getting generated and focusing on these 2 and 3 bedroom, 1100 to 1500 square feet, 75 lakh ticket size, and not very large projects. Okay. These are the projects typically can be completed in 3 to 4 years, have seen substantial stability, and I think going forward, this is going to continue, and in fact, the sales velocity will improve. That's my guess.
Okay, what do you think? Will sales velocity improve? Here's a bull of the real estate market. Nishant has always been a bull of the real estate market. If we spoke to him 6 months ago, he said the worst is over. Of course, sales haven't picked up since then. I'm sure now you're so much more bullish. Tell us that Achhe Din Sab.
No, I think we have organized this show on right day because there were 2 news items today in newspapers that projects worth 3 lakh crores have taken off in last 15 days. Which were held up due to environmental reasons, etc., etc. And they will create whatever number of jobs they will create. Second news item was that for consistently for 2 months, if you see the Naukri job index, it has risen by 20% per month for last 2 months. Okay. And specifically in Bangalore and Pune markets, the employment generation has gone up by 35% and 33% respectively. So whatever percentages you see like 18%, 10% growth, this has happened because in a subsiding growth scenario since 2008. So I feel that in another 12 months from now, you're seeing diesel deregulation, coal denationalization, projects getting approved, environmental clearances getting unclogged. The job creation will start, and probably after 12 months or so, you will see the inflection point where your absorption of unsold inventory of 41 months will take off. Okay. And that's the point from where you will start getting returns. I feel that for next 2 years, the return will be in this 15 to 18% range, but there will be a
15 to 18, and you're grimacing at that number. It's not a bad number. You're comparing it to the 25, 30% you've seen in the stock market in 6 months.
But I feel that in 2 years from now, or 2.5 years from now, you will see a price appreciation like 2005 to 2007.
Oops. And what was that?
Because the absorption will continuously increase incrementally over next 2.5 years. So yeah, next 2.5 years, it's a market for end users. They can get very good deals from developers because sales are down, new launches are down, their balance sheets are stressed. They will be ready to offer whatever you want. So it's a very good market for end users to come in and take their home buying decisions 3 years, 4 years from now. And probably you will start getting those speculative returns of 30-35% probably 2.5 years from now.
2.5 years. All right. So it's a wait and watch. Amit Kukreja, you deal with a lot of high net worth investors who have huge amount of real estate in their portfolio in the market which has given India's highest returns. Gurgaon, tell us some of these stories. How are those investors faring today? Are they regretting and ruining the overexposure that they took in real estate? Or are they saying, hey, we can wait, and guess what? Another 2.5 years, our property should start doing very well.
Hey, Manisha, I think I'm the odd person out here. I'm going to hold a contrary view on what has been shared so far with the panelist here. I think the ground reality is much worse than what has been shared so far. All my clients, in fact, most of them have real estate skewed portfolio, and they have been trying to exit, but they are unable to exit. Either because the projects are not ready for completion. Even if the buildings and structures are ready, there is no occupancy certificate obtained yet. People are trying to sell, they are unable to sell. So I think it's a very bad situation, and people are desperate to exit and make investments in other asset classes, especially after having seen a near bull run in last 1 year. So I am not a strong advocate of real estate at all, especially when it comes to creating an investment portfolio. And I think it's a sorry picture out here when I compare it to the other asset classes which have been doing fairly reasonable job in particularly when I look at it in last 12 to 18 months.
Okay, so last 12 to 18 months, but I think we got to there. I remember last year when we started the property show, which was 2.5 years ago, the first Diwali, it was gold which was shining, then it was real estate which was shining. And now, of course, it's the stock markets which are shining. So we got to take a very informed view of how much money do you put in all. Because ultimately, at no point of time will all three asset classes be going just in one direction, which is up. So how does property stack up against other investments? A really important question. And that's what we're going to come back to, along with how to make the smartest moves in real estate vis-a-vis other investments as well. Stay with us.